Hello everybody, welcome back to From Rhythm to Algorithm. We continue on with our derivation. What is the natural definition of sensorality? Looking to arrange our irreducible syllables in the right order uniquely to create a definition with undeniable integration. Sensorality. So a lot of derivation steps just moving through. Sensorality consolidates differentiation. Right, at this point, we don't really have axioms that make any sense. It's just this fundamental difference represented by letters to solidify our definition. Difference is limited. Sensorality is deterministicality. Determination terminates. Natural definition, direct iteration. Gussie, hey, come on. Sensorality engulfs. Engulfing absorbs. Engulfing contains. Engulf, engage. Again, emphasizing the logic. To engulf something is to surround, to absorb, to contain. And then the structure of the word engulf to the word engage. Sensorality is obfuscation. Obfuscation is obstruction. Sensorality is obstructionality. Again, that struck me in a legal context. What is obstruction to instruction? What is instruction to institution? What is institution to constitution? What is constitution to law? Right? You have jury instructions, and you cannot obstruct justice. Again, emphasizing obstruction of justice is this broader logical structure or logical representation in the same way law enforcement means enforcement of law from all angles and aspects. Obstruction of justice is anything that obstructs justice. Sensorality is destitute. Sensorality is prostitute. Sensorality is prostrate. Prone is prostrate. Conceptualization is bounded by culture. Right, the things you can talk about, the things you can reference, the things that define one another is your culture. And the word culture, your conceptualization of what culture means, that's the bounding, that's the things you can talk about. What is velocity to energy? Again, velocity is rapid movement, energy is movement potential. And so, what is energy to velocity? What is velocity to voluminosity? Does luminosity move? Sensorality presses charges. Sensorality charges crime. Sensorality chimes in. Crime chime. What is chiming to rhyming? Direct iteration. Action normalizes projection. Actions speak louder than words. Again, something you've heard plenty of times, but literally what we've called a logical renormalization. You go into physics class where they say, we're going to renormalize. They just says, right, I say a bunch of words, this means this means this is a notebook. Right, we can agree on that. That is normal. Literally, what everyone agrees on, what everyone around you is doing is normal. In the context of linguistics, right, saying this is a notebook normalizes. That's what I mean. And so when we say actions speak louder than words, they kind of like normalizes all words, right? If you say something, great. If you do something, it has more impact, more meaning than if you just say it. Actions speak louder than words. Action renormalizes or normalizes projection. You say, I'm going to do this, I'm going to start a business, I'm going to go to the gym, I'm going to be a good friend, good family member, whatever. And then the actions have to show consistency to what you say. And that's where actions speak louder than words comes from. And as I've articulated, right, you say what you think and you do what you mean. And that's again, because we're integrating this conceptualization, sensorality, actions speak louder than words is the same conceptualization as what I've articulated. You say what you think and you do what you mean. Sensorality means action. Sensorality is about that action. Single or double action, which I really don't even get what that means in gun culture. It's not articulated well. Moving along. Is spin single? Emphasizing the geometry of the P and the G. Sensorality is a singlet. Does spin sing? Sensorality senses singing. Right? What's the difference? Vocality, you can have orality, you can have singing, you can have screaming, right? Just what are these different gradations or different words to different sounds, different phonetics? Sensorality senses singing. Singing is oral. Natural definition, singing is vocal, direct iteration, oral to vocal. Sensorality differentiates vocality and orality. Right? What's the difference between vocal and oral? What is velocity to vocality? Velocity is exponential. Therefore, momentum is exponential. Again, conceptually, think about it anytime you hear the word somebody say velocity, it's talking about rapid change. And that's what momentum is, mass times velocity. The mass is constant. So now another good pairing of construction, coordinate, cooperate. And then when you emphasizing the hyphen, but coordination and cooperation, right? Operation is ordinal. Natural definition, and that's the theorem in which the conceptualization order of operation comes from, right? The order in which you do an operation matters, and then there was a fundamental progress, existence, inversion, opposition, stabilization to these physical events around you. That's where this fundamental stability of two comes from. The Fibonacci sequence, the natural log base E, and then pi, 3.14. And it is worth pointing out numerically that for whatever reason, right, the Fibonacci sequence and E numerically are both, well, respectively, again, I'm smart, but I think it's like 1.7 and then 2.7 or 1. They're both more than 1.5 and then 2.5. And then 3.14 is less than 3.5. And so there was also some pairing or some intuition about it's just like the stabilization events, meaning I don't think there's not going to be another one. It's just, this is the world you exist in, completely. Yeah, and so velocity is exponential, we just did that. Operation is ordinal. Athleticism is cooperation. Again, there is no I in team. I before E except after C. The difference between E and A is I. The difference between 3 and 8 is 5. That's where that logic comes from. But athleticism is cooperation. Natural definition, coordination is cooperation. Again, literally, if you coordinate your movement, or if you're coordinated, if you're athletic, you coordinate your movement, right? But you can't multitask. You have to think this, 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 and this. And so you're coordinating your cooperations, right? You're putting your operations in order. Moving along, athleticism is the theme of sports. Yeah, a lot of people that have never contributed to society know that. Compete over nothing and tell yourself you're great. Sensorality is the tendency to athleticism. Right? Speciality, the natural tendency to differentiate. Sensorality, the tendency to athleticism. Is athleticism attractive? Athlete theme, direct iteration. Not complete, but close. Right? The word theme, look at the word athlete. You have a T, you have an H, you have two E's, and again, the H, again, it's that NMR relationship, but athlete, the syllability to theme is close, but it's a direct iteration. Athlete theme. What is athleticism to movement? Rhythmic motion is smooth, right? Slow is smooth, smooth is fast. Remember, literally, rhythmic motion is smooth, athletic motion is smooth. So that wasn't even like a, hey, maybe we're going to get back to this. Directly, literally that. Right? Because all of logic is contained within the conceptualization of words that is present everywhere. But then also emphasizing rhythmic motion is circular motion. When you execute any movement, you're in some sort of circular motion. But athletic motion is smooth. What is athleticism? Rhythmic motion, smooth movement. Athleticality is rhythmicality. Natural definition, direct iteration. Sensorality is rhythmicality. Orality is rhythmic, right? The cadence in which I present stuff, or anybody. You want to have a good flow. If you sit down in front of a camera for a while and you talk, you'll kind of get a natural feel for your pace. And so orality is rhythmic. Athletes compete. Direct iteration, sensorality completes, right? We're trying to complete sensorality by directly integrating the syllability sensorality. Sensorality is pletality, preserving that pronunciation, complete, generalizing linguistically, natural definition, direct iteration. Sensorality is replete, right? If you censor something, you take something away. Replete is the opposite of replenishing. Replete diminishes. Completion, repletion. Censoration is repletion. Natural definition, direct iteration. Censoration is the opposite of sensation. Sensation accepts information. Censoration removes information. Natural definition, direct iteration. Negation expands syllability. So now back to physics, or again, not even describing, just existence. Things exist, right? And so linguistically, we have existence, and then we say not that thing. We have the sound E that's used to be like, salt, salt-E, but by just that reality of existence to negation, negating something linguistically, you're adding syllability, right? Numerically, more letters, right? This, not that. Anti, on, a, symmetry, asymmetry, patriotic, unpatriotic, which nobody should be patriotic. But that is, again, negation expands syllability. Sensation, right, that is what exists. Censoration is the negation, right? Censoring takes away sensation. And then linguistically, it's direct. If you take away or, you get sensation. But censoration, to censor, is to take away. And then you get sensorization. Sensation perceives existence, right? Like, there's a table right here. There's a notebook in my hand. Ah, I can feel stuff. Sensorality is perceptionality. Sensorality is exceptionality. Sensorality is a sore torus. So I Googled it. A torus is a donut shaped, or as we've conceptually integrated, the pulsating butthole. Very important. So we've now just combined the two. Sensorality is a sore torus. And so we have a direct physical and geometric image. Very important, right? And the opposite is sensorality is a tight butthole. Very important steps. Can you tie a knot with a sore torus? So imagine that big old thing pulsing. But I guess topologically, which I don't even know if that's the right branch of math you would call it, what I would just call geometry. Again, the logic truly presented. I know it sounds like a joke, but not die, reproduce, think. That is the structure of conceptualization. And so can you tie a knot with a torus? I don't know what kind of deformation or modification or transformation that brings up to you, but mathematically, what is the relationship of a knot and a torus? Can you tangle a surface? Or, again, this is truly, I mean, that's the logic that presented. Can you tie a knot with a sore torus? Nice. What is tying to lying? Again, direct iteration of one consonants, the L in the T. Right, T-I-E, tie, lie, L-I-E. We've done a lot of derivation through liability. What is tying to lying? Sensorality ties the knot. Not know, like knowledge, direct iteration. Marrying ties the knot. Sensorality is marrying. Marry, marry. Direct iteration of the E and the A. Marrying is rhythming. Direct iteration, natural definition. And so that tying to lying step feels like, again, when you get the spelling of rhythm, R-H-Y, it feels like that's a direct step to point out. But marrying is rhythming. Marriage is a rhythm, right? Let's get into a flow of things. Let's Again, I've never even remotely been close to having a girlfriend. I will never have a career and a family because of the ongoing criminal activity. And at this point, like, I don't even really give a shit. But marriage is a rhythm. A rhythm is a flow. Marriage is a union. Sensorality unionizes. What is sensorizing to unionizing? Sensorality is unionizing. What is a sensor to a union? Again, thinking specifically mathematically here, combining two sets, because all of our objects and things are discrete. Sensoring separates, direct iteration, unionizing joins, direct iteration, union join. Is reduction reducible? Again, overall, is 7 even? Is reduction reducible? Voice crack, nice. But working through this, just moving through our steps. Syllable reducible. What is reduction to reaction? Direct iteration. Again, yesterday we talked about form. Form is produced by this elementality, I think is like the correct word for this unit of space. You have some sort of thing, mass that I want to say, just for lack, not trying to think through something right now, occupying space, right? Mass isn't space. Space is nothing. Mass is the thing that you relate other things to. And so the presence of the existence of mass creates irreducibility, right? You can't have two fermions in the same, occupying the same space, the same orbital spin and charge, or whatever the fuck you say in quantum mechanics. But you can't stack fermions on one another. Space is occupied, mass occupies space, because space is nothing. The opposite of nothing is thing. But the existence of mass creates this irreducibility. Density is definite. So even with the compressibility, it's just like density is definite. Is reduction reducible? What is reduction to reaction? Sensorality is sensoriationality. Orality oriates. Direct iteration, sensorate, oriate. Sensorality excoriates. So that is a direct iteration. We just literally have excoriate is a well-defined word. Kind of an interesting one. We'll get to it. But, well, I guess it's the next step. I had one other step out of order here. But the out of order step is agentic authentic? Nothing else to say. And then back to, what is evisceration to excoriation? So I Googled it. Excoriation is like the removing of skin, or to like lambast, to verbally assault, a tongue lashing. And then evisceration to me is always to the phrasing, you know, with every fiber of my being, right? I'm going to tear you down to every fiber of your being. I'm going to eviscerate you, right? Can you tie a knot with a sore torus, right? Do we have Mobius strips? After I eviscerate you, I have a Mobius strip. I'm going to do typology. But what is evisceration to excoriation? And then from sensoriationality, again, the sensoriality. Again, we went through those linguistic forms a long time ago, or not, several months ago, 6, 7, whoever, a long time ago. But sometimes they come back up, sometimes they don't. But sensoriationality directly produces oriate, and in that form, that irreducible syllability is excoriate. Moving along. Crucial, excruciating. Sensorality is excruciation. Direct iteration. Sensation is excruciation. Natural definition, direct iteration, right? The whole medical concept of pain is good. Yep, you're a discomfort, you're in pain, but hey, your limb's still functioning. It's not numb, it's still sensating, it's still feeling, right? Sensation is excruciating, right? You can feel stuff, but pain is good. Again, the context explicitly medical. Pain is not numb. Sensation is feeling. What is feeling to listening? Sensation formalizes information. Literally, there's stuff going on, and then I have form, I have an anatomy, and that processes other information to give it form, to give it meaning. What is a sum to a summary? Some, summer. What is an assumption? Absorption, assumption. Sensorality is assumptionality. Sensorality is sumptuous. Sensorality is a lump sum. You can call J.G. Wentworth cash now for a lump sum. Direct iteration, natural definition. And no, we are not sponsored by J.G. Wentworth, right? J.G. G.J. Zhuzhe, secret French guy. It's Manuel Macroniland. He's sneaking in. He owns J.G. Wentworth. It's Zhuzhe Wentworth. Gotta watch out for that. Which, by the way, on World Friends, I saw one of the French dudes saying that they say "cimer," right? Like that's like this quintessential thing of like saying, you just kind of like what you say in English, like, I don't know, to make your conversation sound a little spicy. In French, saying no more merci, it's cimer, but you're literally just, changing the order of the syllables. Interesting, worth pointing out. But jgwentworth.com if you need a lump sum. Sensorality is a lump sum. Direct iteration, natural definition. What is athleticality to scientificality? Is science athletic? We're almost done. Several barks. Come on, Gus mode. Is science athletic? Is athleticality scientific? Are athletes scientists? Oh, I want to be a great contributing member of society. I want to be a great athlete, then a great scientist. In reality, I'm just going to compete over nothing and contribute nothing because I'm a huge bitch, like everybody else I've ever met. Again, we're just working through derivation. The whole time there's irreducibility. There's this whole time language is literal. This whole time you can't break language. This whole time language is not complicated. We're just working through this analytical process until we can directly state what is sensorality. Sensorality is momentum amplification. Sensorality amplifies. And so that is what I have for right now. My rights continue to be violated. Again, my parents will come back. They went on a vacation. I still have not received my degrees. My life has still been destroyed. My property has been destroyed. My health has been destroyed. Why can't you people give me a little bit of money to eat properly, to sleep properly, and to work? I don't give a remote fuck about publication. I don't give a remote fuck about really my degrees. I just want, if I could have a nice big old bank account, that's my money that I'm suing you for every fucking day. You're not giving me my money. Every day is a whole plethora and slew of criminal charges. Passing vital societal functional roles, everybody will be punished. But each day I do not have I have one less day with my family. And I just think that is the most profoundly disgusting shit in the world. And I want the entire history forever to remember that. As I sit here and beg for a little bit of human dignity and respect, a little bit of money to eat properly, to sleep properly, and to work, and to have some sort of semblance of normalcy with my parents' family for whatever time they have left. Obviously, nobody's going to give a shit, but I just want history to remember these people as the most savage, disgusting failures of moral behavior ever. That is what I have for right now. Thank you for watching. See you on the next one.